No, Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo. Can we all agree we're going to stay here, Owen? Don't make us Kobbie Mainoo. Alice, let's start with you, because back in training, where is Kobbie's best position in this system? Can he play alongside Ugarte / Casemiro in this midfield two, which we're all presuming will be a midfield two right there? Or is he looking, or should we be looking, or should Amorim be looking for him to be playing in one of those 10 areas?
For me, I think he's better in the 8 role under Amorim. And that brings me back to, do you remember when we were looking at like Frankie de Jong, we didn't get him, we got Casemiro instead. And the one worry around getting Casemiro was, he's not maybe the best on the ball at breaking the lines. We do need a Frankie de Jong-esque player to play alongside Casemiro, because McTominay and Fred couldn't do that. And we're like, okay, well, we're not going to get Frankie de Jong. And I remember suggesting a few players like Max and Kakare was one. And another one who was at Sporting at the time was Matheus Nunes. He obviously went to Wolves, went to City. He's been a bit hit and miss, but at Sporting, him and Ugarte were very good together. In terms of profile of player, I do think that Kobbie is quite similar to what Matheus Nunes did at Sporting. So, and he obviously partnered Ugarte at times. So I see Kobbie in the pivot with Ugarte. I also think, while I think elements of me think that Kobbie, because he's got a bit of a creative nature, could do a job in the 10, and it'd be interesting to see. I think with Amorim's 3-4-3, don't know if Kobbie's really got the pace for it, the directness, because they are sort of 10s, but also sort of wide forwards. It's a little bit different, really. So for me, I think Bruno and Mount could maybe do it, but I think Kobbie for me would be in the pivot with Ugarte, sort of doing the role that Nunes did at Sporting, and I think that works quite well with Kobbie, because he's quite good at receiving the ball off the centre backs, breaking the lines. He's quite comfortable on the ball, and I think that would just help in our build up.
Love it. He's muted. Technology.
I'm for that. Wanted to always make sure someone's finished talking. It's called Zoom etiquette, mate. That's what you do. So you're not all shouting over each other. I mean, and people got headphones on there. I've paid attention to the comments. It gets very chaotic for your ears. So just having etiquette, mate. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing, mate.
Good.
Adam, over to you. What say you?
Which topic, mate? Are we on Kobbie right now?
Yeah, Kobbie.
Yeah, just really excited to have him back in the side. I think, like, potential-wise in this squad, he has got the biggest ceiling out of every player, I think, alongside Garnacho personally. And it's like what Alice says there. Alice has done a couple of shows now where we've been talking about how we fit players into this Amorim system. I feel like if it was in the old style setup with a natural 10, it's not the same under Amorim. I think Kobbie would be better further forward personally, because that is where he came through in Man United's academy. I think he was a further forward thinking midfielder, attacking midfielder. But when you've got the qualities that Kobbie's got, you can play him in at 8. I feel like this system is going to pretty much suit itself to him playing in that role in between both the likes of Ugarte and the forwards. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing. I think the biggest thing out of everything is looking forward to seeing Amorim unleash the potential, because I feel like that's what he will do more with these players. I don't think we've seen the best of any of these players in this squad under Ten Hag. I don't think any of them have reached anywhere near what they can. And it's like them statements that have come out today in terms of Amorim's, his job, his task in hand. Like, Ten Hag has blew the budget, and he is now on a shoestring budget, and he's got to maximise the talent out of this squad. I feel like Kobbie Mainoo, like I just said, his ceiling is sky's the limit, isn't it, with Kobbie? And hopefully we can build a team around him, because I think he is that type of player that will that we can build a team around, for me. And I think he'll play in a couple of positions. I don't think it's going to necessarily be one. I think it'll be an ever-changing sort of system that interchanges in-game in certain scenarios, and against different opposition, it may be approached a bit differently as well. But I agree with what Ali said in terms of the pace of Kobbie Mainoo. I think he's better with players close to him and players around him. And I think he will work best. And we haven't seen the combination yet of him and Ugarte, have we? So it's something, again, to get excited about as an unknown for us as United fan base going into this period now under Amorim. But yeah, I'm like everyone. I'm figuring out all of these different situations we've got and the excitement factor, but I just want to see United play now so I can start properly judging it. I feel like I'm imagining things constantly happening right now.
So many hypotheticals.
I know. I need to see football now. It's killing me. Honestly, like this has been the longest international, and we say it on every international break, but this one with what we've got to come, I feel has been the longest one. But the countdown's on now. I think all our questions, are going to be answered, I feel, this weekend in that initial sort of reaction from this squad.
Yeah, to see where they go. We'll go around the room and continue. Kobbie Mainoo, KG.
You know what's crazy? Like, I'm trying to not think of the form of what Rude was doing with that partnership of Casemiro and Ugarte. But then they enjoyed playing next to each other. They understood each other's game. And you're like, do you break that up? But then it's a brand new manager. So it kind of means nothing. But at the same time, I really want us to manage Casemiro intelligently. Like, we don't want to lose him because I didn't realize how big of a character he is for the dressing room. There was clearly a rift between Casemiro and the past regime. You can see already he's comfortable. I think Rude put his arm around him, and all of a sudden, Casemiro looks like a good player that still has something to offer and something to give to Man United. And I just want him to manage that one effectively. While Kobbie's young, you still got the room to, bench Kobbie at times or bring Kobbie into the game and not make him. Right now, for the last couple of years, Kobbie, Garnacho have been senior players, and it was maybe too much too soon. I don't know if it's time now to, the real senior players, play them first and then let them almost mess it up for themselves, and then you bring in the youth, or the youth come off the bench, do something, and it's like, I can't drop you now because you're showing you're the best. But I think we need to respect respect players that have done a lot in the game. And Casemiro at the moment for me should start with Ugarte. He should start, and then it's his place to almost lose. I don't know if you lot agree with that one, but
Kobbie just be on the bench and just come in and out and just
Yeah, because we have to manage that
right.
dressing room properly.
Yeah, KG's right there. There's no reason why Casemiro doesn't start for me. Kobbie Mainoo will just be integrated. Look, we've got the opportunity with this, crazy as it sounds, fully fit squad. Let that sink in. Like, fully fit squad. So no need to rush players back. Let's stop doing that. Let's trust in the players that are there that are fully fit. Casemiro has been one of our best players under Ruud van Nistelrooy. I don't think there's any reason for him to be out of this side. Totally agree what KG says there in terms of let's just integrate Kobbie back in as we need. He will find his way back into this side naturally. There's no need to thrust him in when we don't need to.
But then it's mad because someone says same with Euro, but I wouldn't do that with Euro.
I agree with you with the Kobbie, though, situation. I think that it doesn't feel like there's much of a rush, really, actually, does there? The midfield the last couple of games has been okay. Obviously, you want Kobbie Mainoo to play because he's one of our better players. But kind of what you were saying, KG, I think is spot on, that you look at people like Kobbie, like Garnacho, the biggest problem they've had over the last sort of 18 months or so is that they have been our best or most important players. And they really shouldn't be at this stage of their development. Not because they're not good enough, just because there should be the senior players that are carrying their fair share, and they haven't been. And then with that comes them being overplayed, being over-relied on. And when eventually they become inconsistent because that's what happens with young players, then we blame them for just being a young football player, which is, it's going to happen, isn't it? Inconsistency is going to happen. So with Kobbie, I don't sort of subscribe to. I've seen some people sort of suggesting, maybe Kobbie might be in a bit of trouble under Ruben Amorim because of the midfield. I think that's just lazy, to be honest.
Crazy,
I think if you've got a good player, he'll play him. And Kobbie's at that age anyway that if he wants him to do a slightly different role, one, he can do it, and two, he's young, he can adapt. It's not like a Bruno Fernandes where we said under Eric Ten Hag, where we're like, he's older, is he going to adapt? Turns out couldn't, because Bruno can only really do what Bruno does. Kobbie, the scary thing is with him, we haven't even seen the best of him. We've only seen a small glimpse of what he's actually capable of. So he'd be capable of anything.